What's up, guys, and welcome back to PricePlow, and welcome to your first exclusive look at the Christian Guzman Ghost collab line. This is an awesome limited edition drop going up today at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and today I figured I'd talk about specifically the Legend collab as it's the continuation of the CG collabs. I think probably tomorrow or the day after we talk about Focus and Way, and for full disclosure, I am using Focus for this video. But with the long line of collaborations, this is V4 for Legend, I wanted to touch on the evolution of the products that have happened and what's going to happen with V4 here. Let's jump in and talk about V4 and what they're doing for you in this pre-workout. Now, obviously before this, there's been 3 different versions of Christian Guzman's Legend pre-workout, and this is probably the most drastic change from the one before, as the last one they really leaned into beta-alanine, and this time they've got none at all. The color scheme is obviously drastically different from previously with the blue. Obviously with V1 there was a black element to it, but this is really like a blackout murdered look with these yellow pops, which is pretty dope. You get a really cool textured label with the normal bump map of these little, comic book dot shading things. I don't know the technical term for them. But in any case, I'm not here to talk to you about marketing. We'll leave that up to Josh Shaw. We're here to talk about formulas like we do best. So they did a couple cool things with this formula here, a couple things that we, kind of expect from Ghost, and a couple things that are a little bit different. First thing I want to talk about is the full yield citrulline. Now, you guys are used to seeing lots of citrulline, sometimes citrulline malate, but of course Ghost doesn't do that because they go with the pure citrulline. With this one, they did a cool little transparency trick, which we're really starting to attribute to Ghost. Ghost is obviously a trendy company, but in terms of transparent companies, they're actually one of the top when it comes to really telling you the truth about their ingredient. So we got a full yield citrulline here. We got 6 full grams of citrulline coming from both citrulline and citrulline nitrate. So this is pretty cool because you got 4.66 grams of citrulline delivering 4.52 grams of citrulline. This might be confusing for some people at home, but ingredients are not always 100% that actual ingredient. You got things like ash and moisture and some other stuff in there. So it's kind of cool that they're giving us really like what you're getting out of this citrulline. Now also the citrulline nitrate is 2 grams yielding 1.48 grams of citrulline. If you're familiar with nitrates, you know that they're great pump boosters, but what you might not realize is that because it's an amino acid mixed with a nitrate, you are getting a different ratio of the two. So obviously you get 4.52 grams of citrulline, 1.48 grams of citrulline, and it adds up to 6 grams. An awesome clinical dosage of citrulline and a great place to start here. So citrulline, what is it? It's a few different things. It boosts nitric oxide. It's an arginase inhibitor. It does a couple things by boosting nitric oxide and then keeping it around in the body. It's really effective. It's really awesome. And this 6 grams is about nearly as effective as nitrosogene. If you saw the University of Arkansas study last year, you know that, it was comparing nitrosogene to citrulline, but we can also go to the background the other way. 6 grams of citrulline here is pretty strong. Tie that in with citrulline nitrate here. Nitrates are obviously very legendary pump ingredients that drop blood pressure decent and drive a lot of blood flow. I like nitrates because they're a bit more of an athletic pump for me. They're not as like a voluminous pump. You get that from things like citrulline and beta-alanine, which are also in here. So awesome to see this little combo of citrulline and citrulline nitrate. Cool to see the transparency. Happy to move on. Betaine anhydrous. You got 2,500 milligrams here. It's the clinical dosage of betaine anhydrous. Betaine is used for a lot of different things. Power output, an osmolyte. It's a precursor to creatine. It's an awesome performance aid. It does a lot of different things for the body. There's a lot of great benefits to using it. We're super happy to see it being used in CGV4. We like seeing betaine anhydrous. You can go higher than 2,500 milligrams, but 2,500 is the clinical dosage. And Ghost likes to keep it, straight to the point, right where the clinical dosages are. Happy to see it at 2,500 milligrams. Let's move on to Synactiv. Now, Synactiv is obviously an ingredient that we've seen across a lot of different spots in Ghost, and we may be even getting it in some other products as well coming soon. Synactiv helps deal with senescent cells that are towards the end of their life cycle and need to be kind of taken care of and killed off, right? So we got kind of a nice analogy towards training here, breaking things down, getting rid of the old, getting the new in, and Synactiv helps out a lot with that. There was tons of different inflammation markers. It's very helpful for athletes. It can help deal with a little bit of pain, help you be able to train a little bit longer. And if you're one of those people that you're not old, but you're starting to see the signs of age, right? I'm 28. I've been powerlifting for almost 5 years now, training for over 10. You start to have aches and pains, some issues over here and there. It could be important to look at something like Synactiv and make yourself a little bit more comfortable, help you train for longevity while also enjoying the intensity. And that's the Ghost Legend XCG blend. What we have down low is the Smart Energy blend. Now, Smart Energy you see in all of the different legends, but they're all a little bit different here. You got tyrosine at 2 grams, taurine 2 grams. These are two nice fat dosages. Tyrosine is something you can see anywhere from 500 to 12 grams. And 12 would be a little bit high, but a lot high actually. We like to see not just a base 500 milligram dosage here. Tyrosine does a lot of different things. It helps form a whole bunch of different neurotransmitters. And normally we talk a lot about acetylcholine as a neurotransmitter. We'll be talking about that a little bit later. This one, you're seeing things that lead towards epinephrine, and it's really helpful for dialing you in for the gym. I've been a big proponent of larger dosages for a while, and I'm happy to start seeing things shifting from that 500 to 750 all the way up to 2 grams. It's always a great sign when you see Ghost using a big dosage, because like I said before, Ghost sticks straight to the clinical dosages. They give you what you need, and they do a great job of making great experiences without the kitchen sink, right? A lot of companies go with mega doses, and it doesn't always feel like it is on the label. Ghost always feels more than the label, and that could also just be proper overages and the correct manufacturing, but seeing 2 grams of tyrosine here is awesome to see for the industry, because Ghost doesn't always go with mega doses here. And so if 2 grams is becoming like an accepted dose, that makes me pretty excited about the possibility of tyrosine really being accepted and loved for these bigger dosages. Taurine at 2 grams is awesome. We all know that Dan has a big love for taurine in his videos. He talks about it possibly with this new hydration product coming up soon. Taurine has a lot to do with hydration, but it also has some nootropic benefits, some performance aids. There's a great meta-analysis that if you've watched any of my videos talking about taurine, I always reference talking about athletic benefits, and that starts at 1 gram. So we got 2 grams here. There's a lot of benefits to it here. You'll see taurine in a couple different products from Ghost, so you get a decent amount of taurine. It'll really help you out. From a very basic aspect, your muscles are a large majority percentage water, so making sure that you're hydrated for training is a very important thing. It helps with actual muscle contraction, but just staying hydrated and healthy is important. It protects your body. Now, I mentioned acetylcholine before as a neurotransmitter, and here we're talking about alpha GPC, which is obviously a choline source at 50%. So they're giving you 600 milligrams of it, a nice whopping dosage. Now, this was something that we also saw in CGV3. We saw a big dose of alpha GPC. So where they did remove the beta alanine from that one, they kept this one kind of along in the alpha GPC is a very popular choline source. It's above average in quality. There's you know, phosphatidylcholine and stuff like that above it, but that stuff's hard to work with and not always stable. Alpha GPC is a great source that is kind of expensive to add in. A lot of companies will shy away from it and go towards choline bitartrate, but with this limited edition, Ghost did not shy away from it. They went for a healthy dose with it. You also see it in their normal Legend V2 as well, which it's awesome to see them using great quality ingredients. Obviously, that's something we expect from Ghost, but it's nice to see here. So as we get further down here, we're starting to talk about why Ghost made this one kind of like their hardcore Legend look, right? We mentioned, if you watched our podcast with Dan and Ryan, we kind of talked about the possibility of a hardcore Legend in the future. We had to be kind of quiet about that, but it's looking like CGV4 is kind of looking like a possibility for that. If you saw my videos leading up to Legend V2, you saw that my theory was that they were using these different collabs to test out different things. So here they're going with a big 300 milligrams caffeine. Some of you guys might be laughing at me calling caffeine at 300 milligrams big, because you know that I've taken much more than that, and I've talked about much more than that, the safety and efficacy of caffeine. But for Ghost to use 300 milligrams, they normally don't really go that high with that. One reason that it's kind of helped out here is they also have 100 milligrams of theobromine and 60 milligrams of bitter orange, yielding 30 milligrams of synephrine. Now, caffeine has safety data all the way up to like 13 milligrams per kilogram. You can take a big dosage of that, but the problem is you get some side effects with that, like GI distress, and obviously it can be uncomfortable mentally and physically to use that much stimulant. But when you combine 300 milligrams of caffeine with 100 milligrams of theobromine and 30 milligrams of synephrine, you get some wonderful things. I can definitely tell you the experience of CGV4 is much larger than the label may make you think. Ghost is known for this, and I've brought this up before. The proper overages, the proper manufacture, and the proper combining of ingredients can yield to a better experience than you would expect from the label. Now, one thing to note is that as compared to the normal Legend V2, which some people have said is much more powerful than they expected, there's no alpha yohimbe, there's no rauwolfia in this. So you're getting a different kind of stimulant, which is higher than you would normally deal with it with Ghost, but you're also removing another stimulant. So if you are susceptible to side effects from from Raw Wolfia, I would recommend you try this out. If you're looking for something a higher stim from Ghost, but you don't want that Raw Wolfia, this is an awesome option. We had some people kind of complain that Ghost was using such a large dose of Raw Wolfia because they trust Ghost for a little bit of a lower stim option, but they didn't want that Raw Wolfia in there. This might be a different option for you if you're looking for something from Ghost that doesn't have that Raw Wolfia. I like it a lot, and I deal with Raw Wolfia very well. So I enjoy Legend V2 on kind of like a daily driver basis. However, in this case, it's definitely a very different feeling. We've known for a while that Ghost is really into bitter orange in Synephrine as a whole, but obviously Synephrine is an issue for GNC for a bunch of different countries. So they had to keep this to a limited edition here. In any case, it feels awesome. It's very useful. I'm going to stop ranting about it. I recommend you try it out if you're looking for something different. Lastly, they got Ghost Absorption at the bottom. It's just one ingredient. It's estrogen at 50 milligrams. Estrogen is from New Live Sciences, the same manufacturer of Synactiv. I talked about before. They make a lot of really great ingredients, and if you want to check out our content on that, we did a really big deep dive on Synactiv and estrogen in the past. Super helpful ingredients for a lot of different things. Estrogen here helps with the absorption of a lot of different ingredients, including things like choline, different amino acids. If you looked up their data, they've got data for dozens of different ingredients, and a few of them are on this panel here. This is going to help with the absorption of these ingredients, but it also, in cell data, lowered intestinal wall inflammation by up to 73%, which can help with absorption across the board of all things from food to supplements. I do have to say it was cell data, it was not human data, but it is kind of interesting and important. It's a possible boost for a lot of different things for humans, supplements, and food alike. And that's CGV4. I've really loved using it. I've used it twice now, legs and bench press workouts, and I enjoyed it. It had long-lasting energy. It had a good hit. None of the sweating from Raw Wolfia that you would normally get, so it's a little bit of a different change, which is kind of nice for some people. I appreciate it as a different kind of Legend. I'll be using the Legend V2 as a daily driver just because this is limited, but it's a really awesome different stab at what Ghost can accomplish in the pre-workout market. Next, we'll be talking about Focus and Whey. I'll tell you right now, I loved the whey flavor. It's a lot creamier and more buttery than you'd normally get from Ghost, which is kind of exciting because it's not on the sweet side. But we're doing a full video on that and full on Focus as well, which is an awesome stim-free, kind of like a gamer, Only thing different is it doesn't have the new level. So stay tuned for those. I'll be doing those soon. Just got a lot of stuff to do over here at PricePlow headquarters. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. I love to talk to you about Ghost, CGV4, CG Focus, CG Whey. I do have to say we got these for free. We do have a business affiliate relationship with Ghost. But if you have any questions, I'd love to talk to you about them. As always, guys, I really appreciate making this far in the video, and have a great day.
Welcome to PricePlow.